Welcome to the first interview, the first episode, the beginning of it all, and hopefully a great start to a new idea in the community to help get people to understand and know the ins and outs of how people work, on how members and higher ups get to know their roles and how we'll get to know them and how they execute the roles. First up, with me, I have my co-host Chef, and for our first interview, we have KSI xJuliusCaeser 7, who is the new co-founder for VH, one of my co-founders personally, and a very close friend of Chef's. We all work very well together in the division, I think, and I'll let Julius here open up with a little bit of a tidbit for himself.
Yeah, thanks for that nice introduction. A little bit about me. Joined back in the day when 2005 approximately, when you actually had to have in Halo your emblem had to have a certain color and a certain icon for like your rank, which was really cool.
Yeah, I
Every
remember those days.
those were fun. Those were always cool when you got to change your colors and your icon. And then at some point I vanished and came back around 2009 and was in Simplify and was able to become a div leader of Simplify in 2010. And that's some of my past.
Nice, nice. I love to hear it. I love to hear the past experience in divisional operations. The fact that you're coming back and really pushing and where you've gone really shows your past experience as well, and knowledge you've learned from 2010 to now 2024. One of my main questions for you that I've always wanted to ask you in kind of a news sense, outside of just our personal conversations, but my main question is, what's your biggest goal here? Where do you see yourself at the quote unquote end of your journey in KSI when you decide, it's retirement time, you're just gonna go back to being a member and just chill and play games? Like what's your, in your eyes, your end goal here, if you have
Well,
one?
hopefully there is no like end of KSI for me now that I'm an adult and I would like to think more mature. I really focus on what we've built here and this family really is what it is. Obviously, I'd love to get back to where I left off, division leader, and that's really what's helped me drive to obtain co-founder. Most importantly as well is just making friends and elevating people up and helping others come out of their shell and learn some leadership qualities and traits that they already have. They just don't know it.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that a lot honestly on a day to day with you. Every time you hop in VC, every time you're in chats and squad chats, division chats, I find that you're very, just right away, very uplifting, just trying to be the best you can be for other people. On top of that, I've noticed you've also been working on yourself and bettering yourself in certain scenarios, just kind of an outside perspective, which is a awesome, honestly, a good mentor thing to have, a mentor trait, being able to grow yourself to let others witness it. One thing I've really I like to point out from you is the ability to pull pure greatness out of people that think that they don't have any greatness in them. I'll do a name drop and say, lady, for instance, she, from the story that I've heard, is she came in a member and that's what she wanted to be. She was here for the idea that we were an LFG and there were people to play with. You kind of, brought her in under your wing and showed her that there's more to it and that the management side doesn't have to be scary or boring or what have you. And even then, now she's a moderator and the in the Discord. So just more and more of examples of what you've done for people. I could go on, but honestly, I think that the idea of that where Lady came from a member and has moved up, reluctant in a lot of positions. I think she's definitely shown your drive.
It's funny that you say that as well. I just had somebody today tell me that my charisma is max, and I think that was a D&D term that they were dropping, but I'm able to go into a voice channel, they say, and like work with that.
Whoever's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Chef, was there anything you wanted to add to that? I know I've kind of went on a little tangent. I I got a little soft spot for Caesar here, but I know that you and him are very good friends, and there might be a good question you want to ask here.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to ask what keeps you motivated while you're here in a leadership position? You came back from leaving for so many years. What motivated you to come back to KSI to level up the way that you have? And what motivates you today to continue to try to elevate not only yourself, but the people underneath you?
I come from a long history of, I blame ADHD, jumping from different games and having different friend groups in those different games. Like Last Oasis, for example, I created something inside of that where it was like a group of 50v50 people and led them. And then, when you get bored of that game and you move on to another game, there's not very many people that'll follow you to that next game. So I just got tired of trying to recreate friends and groups and came across somebody had the KSI tag and the first descendant, and it was like, oh my lord, like a blast from the past. And that brought me back here. And what motivates me really is helping people, building people up, and also setting goals is what drives me to continuously build the rank, and also knowing the further I can get, the more people I can touch and help elevate.
Absolutely. I guess a follow-up question to that, and you may have just answered it, but I just wanted to know what was the most rewarding aspect of being a leader here in KSI for you?
The most rewarding aspect, I would say, is being a part of everything that we're building here and being able to witness how you can elevate people and watch them grow. It's a really cool thing to see, and it's really exciting. Really makes you proud and happy of it.
Awesome. No, that was a great question. I love that and the follow up as well. It really sheds a light on that. And I know that question is going to come up a lot here during these interviews, talking on the topic of goals and achievements and rewarding and kind of what keeps you here and motivation. I know personally that you have set goals for yourself and you have done a couple of different training programs that you've built from almost the ground up. Out of your perspective and your thought, what are some of your personal most favorite goals that you've achieved from squad splits, division splits, bringing people up, AAP awards? Like what is your favorite goal, and what are some goals that you're leading into in the coming future, being a co-founder and hopefully soon founder and so on and so forth?
My favorite goal that I have achieved would probably have to be the 7. And of course, previously being a division leader, it has really taught me a lot and helped me come back to this with such strength, I think. Other ones would have to be just for AAP, the mentor slash role model ones. I think I even was able to earn a divisional of the month, and better with friends.
Yeah,
Um,
Better with Friends is a dope one.
yeah, and some long term goals is obviously to get back to division leader where I left off, but also building a kick ass team below me of great friends, of course, and great leaders and a family essentially.
Yeah, yeah, heck yeah. No, and I feel the same way. I feel like there's a, and you say under, but I always feel like it's like side by side. Like we're never, even after promotions, after a split, chef getting co-div and what have you. I feel like there's still this just friend group that we can all sit down and even if you took the KSI away, it's still we're still community. We're still friends, and that's what I think is most important about it is even without the title, what we're building is a community, right? We're building people that look out for each other, that care for each other physically. Like genuinely, I've seen people reach out. I know there's been some crazy incidences going on with some members recently, and I just seeing the support from other members and the care is just so cool. And just the aspect of family and that kind of thing. And on top of that, bringing family, your wife being here and being in the community is also a really cool aspect. I'd love to touch on that really quick and just see what your ideas are of that. Like I know across the board, there's quite a few members that have their significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, wife, husband, what have you. I'm wondering, in your perspective, is it good? Does it create rocky points? Does it make things challenging? Does it make things easier? What's something for you that you think is has grown or come out of that kind of aspect?
Really, she got the luxury of being a stay-at-home mom and was wanting friends and some hobbies to do. And of course, with my passion into this, I just kind of showed her like, hey, I've got this really cool group that I play with, from a day to day and chat with on a day to day. And I think you could as well. There's some really cool people in here. And now she's playing Fortnite and loving it, enjoys getting in a chat with people and kind of like the life of the party. She's really outgoing. So it's been fun. And I think that's also helped her with her search and hobbies and friends.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's good to hear. I've personally, my wife isn't super nerdy or gamey, but I've always kind of wanted her to get into the community side of things. I think she could do well in some aspects of it. But yeah, no, it's a cool way of putting it in perspective. Like the idea of her wanting to have friends, and I know firsthand being a stay-at-home dad, that's a hard thing to do when you're stuck at home with. Personally, I have three kids, so I know that it's hard for us. I'm guessing you have two or three yourself. So, but yeah,
Or
getting oh, four. There you go. So yeah, definitely a full house. So you
yeah.
get it. You get it. And your wife, I'm hoping has found some great friends out of it. I know I personally have coming back myself. With that, leading into kind of co-play and stuff like that, what are some things that draw you and your wife into certain games? Like when you guys play together, or even just separately, like what's some things that drive you into a VC or into a game head first kind of thing?
Really, it's all about two things. Everybody that's playing it and just having a good time. I'm a big people person, so if there's a group of people playing a game and I can join in and have some fun with it, I'm all about it. The second one would have to be if there's a big game coming out and I see it has potential for more people to come into this wonderful community and let's kind of grow from it.
Cool. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. No, I've seen recently that there's been a little shift in what people have been playing. There's a little bit of a lull. We're about to hit a big peak on new games, Call of Duty. I think there was a Liberty and something that you were mentioning to me.
Throne and
Um,
Liberty.
Throne and Liberty, yeah, had just come out, and there's a couple others. And the I think we're 3 weeks or 2 weeks away from the Diablo season 6. So yeah, there's a big list coming out. So I feel like right now it's just kind of been finding games that we all still enjoy. I find that Fall Guys has been a big popular hit for us. Getting back into having full laughing game nights instead of just social nights and stuff like that. Chef, was there anything that you were interested in asking him, going over those questions?
Yeah, going over those questions, I really only have one question. So, how do you manage your time between playing the game, interacting with, the community and new members, and then handling fatherly duties, husbandly duties, and then also leadership duties?
Great question. Sometimes I wonder that myself, but really, I start with waking up super early, helping out with chores around the house before the house gets chaotic, and then of course heading to work. And then at work, sometimes I have a being in IT. Sometimes I'm able to sit at my computer and have Discord open, and I'm able to chat. Some days I'm not, so that allows me to keep engaged with the community. Um, and then when I get off work, the first thing I typically don't do is get on. Typically, I'll ask her if she needs anything. And I think the biggest thing is, of course, having a extremely wonderful, supportive wife. Of course, I don't think I'd be able to do half of the stuff I do without her. And then I typically will get off at a decent time and spend some time with her as well before we go to bed.
Heck yeah, no, that's awesome. I love hearing that. I've been uh, I've been slowly trying to build a little bit of a routine and schedule outside of just taking care of the kids and stuff like that too. So hearing that and how you break it down a little bit is good to hear. Might help some other people too. I know that there's some people struggling with time management skills out there. But yeah, uh, I think the last question I have for this interview would be, in real life, what are some things that KSI has taught you to support you in troubles and tribulations? You know, coming from any aspect, personal life, inside family, work, what have you. What has KSI given you to support you?
Really great question. I think this goes back from, shoot, when I first joined. I mean, you really learn to talk to a group of people, so it really gets you kind of out of your shell of like group talking, having to be the person to start conversations and in a way host a meeting, like you would at a real life job, and even being the center of attention. This community's taught me a lot in that aspect, as well as leadership, being able to take some of the things you learn here to manager style roles and leadership style roles, and being able to manage personnel, really.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I can see that too. I've learned how to manage emotions as well. Being in a leader position, you deal with a lot of people, a lot of different people in KSI, and sometimes outside work stuff really gets to you, and it kind of adds in, and it just helps you build that strength on getting through tough situations, not wanting to have a blow up situation with a member or what have you. So definitely is a good point there. I find that it's really helped me learn how to step away and look at a different perspective with the wide range of people that we have in the community. I really think that being able to see other points of view is definitely a positive. I think, like, as well, for me being in KSI previously, I think it's really helped me in similar scenarios. You know, I suffer from social anxiety quite badly. KSI really helped me get out of my shell and just talk to people and that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, that's great. That's pretty much all I have question wise for now on this first icebreaker episode. Chef, was there anything else you wanted to just quickly go over before we wrap it up here?
No, I think that's all I had. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to us, and I look forward to our next episode.
Was there anything you wanted to say on your way out here, Julius?
I appreciate both your guys' times and allowing me to have this great experience as the first guest of your first episode. So thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Next up is a little break before our Hitman 7 interview. We will have a little bit of information regarding promotions. Average time you'll see, or average promotions you'll see, is going to be co-founder and up, unless there is a write-up or a reason sent to us as to why an SL or an SO really deserved a shout-out on a promotion. Other than that, thank you, Julius. Thank you, Chef. On to the next one.